Hello, dear students, a very happy evening. So, I would like to welcome all of you towards today's session of STEM Search. So, please be ready with your notebook and pen. And I hope everybody know about the chapter that we'll be discussing today. So, today we'll be discussing the questions from the chapter Statistics. So, I'll share the screen. So, I would request the children to just give a confirmation if I'm audible and if everything is fine. And please do check the chat box is accessible to all of you. Just confirm that also, whether the chat box is accessible. What is the status? I've shared the screen. Can you all see that? You could just put a confirmation message so that we can continue our session. Is the screen visible, children? So I'll be looking at the chat box. So if there is anything that you want to communicate with me, you can type your queries in the chat box. So in between the session also, discussion also, I'll be looking at the questions. So yes. So today's chapter is statistics. We have different types of questions from the chapter. So we'll start. Our first question is, the mean of a set of 100 observations is 45. Please take your notebook and pen. We can start solving our questions. So the first question is, the mean of a set of 100 observations is 45. It was later discovered that two observations, 19 and 31, were incorrectly recorded as 91 and 13. So you need to find the correct mean. A very familiar type of question that comes in the examination. The mean of a set of 100 observations, it is given as 45. It was later only we got the idea that two observations were incorrectly recorded. The actual ones were 19 and 31. It was actually recorded as 91 and 13. Now you need to find the new mean. So you have all the very basic things. Number of observations is there. The mean value is there. You can find the sum here. And you have to work on the two actual values as well as the two wrong values. And you will be able to find the correct mean here. So dear children, please start doing this question. And here you can just look at the options 44.4, 43.8, 44.6, 46.3. So it's just a point difference between the options. So be careful when you're solving it. So once you have the answer, you can type the answer in the chat box like option B, C, D, or A. So yes, I hope at least some of you have got the answer. We'll just check how we'll solve the very basic question from the chapter statistics. You know the formula of mean and median. So we'll start with the basics itself. So when it comes to what is given in the question as mean of 100 observations is 45. So what is the formula of mean? We have always studied that it is sum of observations by number of observations. In the question, mean is given as 45 and of 100 observations. So n is 100. So I got sum of observations as 4,500. In that 4,500, two observations were incorrectly recorded. That is 91 and 13. They were actually 19 and 31, but it was recorded as 91 and 13. So here, incorrectly recorded observations are 91 plus 13, that is 104, but correct is like 50. So we can just find the difference and we can just subtract it from the total value. That is 4,500 minus 54. So I have the total of observation. Now I know the number of observations. I know the actual total value. If I have both of them, it's just sum of observations or the total number divided by the count. That's the value n. So it is 4446 divided by 100, which is 44.46. So here the answer for this question is like option. The option here is option A. So those students, I would request everybody to just look at the question. Is everything clear related to this question? We have a mean of 100 observations, which is 45. That's already given in the question. I'll be able to find the total number of observations. And it is clearly mentioned in the question that 2 of them were incorrectly recorded. So 19 and 31 were the actual ones. It was recorded as 91 and 13. As you have the total number, total value, you can just subtract from them and you can find the actual sum of observations. If you have the actual sum of observations, that is divided by the total number, gives you the mean. So Vishal, I hope the question is clear to you. If there are any further queries, I would request the students to type it in the chat box so that I'll be able to help you. Jai Prashanjit and Vishal, if you have any queries, requesting you to type that in the chat box. So yes, moving to the second question, this is the question with very basics. The mean is equal to the very basic formula, sum of observations by total number of observations. There is a value change that has happened. So in some case, you have to add it. Some case, you have to subtract it based on the total. And then once you have the new sum of observations, that divided by the total number gives you the new mean or the actual mean. So hope this question is clear and we'll move to the next question. This is an interesting question and I would request all the children to answer it and give me a reply in the chat box. So yes, the mean of 5 observations is 4. The mean of 5 observations is 4 and their variance is given as 5.2. The mean of 5 observations is 4 and the variance of 5 observations is 5.2. If 3 of these observations are 1, 2, and 6, then the other 2 are. Read the question once again. It is clearly given in the question that we are having 5 observations and the mean of the 5 observations, the value is given as 4. And even in the question, they have given us the variance, that is 5.2. And out of 5 observations, they have given us 3 observation values also, that is 1, 2, and 6. You need to find the remaining 2 values here. So just start doing, just try to do it. And the options are like 2, 9, that is option A. Option B is 3, 8. Option C is 4, 7. And option D is 5, 6. You have number of observations, you have mean, you have variance, and you have 3 observations also. Just use the formula to find the variance and just use the formula to find the mean. Substitute these values and then you'll get the answer. So yes, those students who have completed answering, you can type the answer in the chat box or even the option in the chat box. I'm looking at the chat box only. Okay, some of these previous sessions, already recorded sessions are available in the YouTube. Even you can check for the playlist in the same channel, STEM Search Engineering Problem Solving Workshop. So you'll get a lot of problem solving sessions of last year. And some of the videos are uploaded in the other YouTube channel also. I'll share the link in the chat box towards the end of this session. So yes, we have 5 observations. Their mean value is 4. Their variance is also given, that is 5.2. And among that 5 observation, 3 observation values are given, that is 1, 2, and 6. And it is asking you to find out the other 2 values. Is it something like 2, 9, 3, 8, 4, 7, or 5, 6? So those children who have completed, requesting them to type the answer in the chat box, and then we can start our discussion. Yes. So I have initially written whatever is there in the question. You can use different methods, different ways. Even you can just calculate everything in your mind and you can get the answer. It's a very, very simple question. And please note that, children, this type of question often comes in examination with just a little bit of difference. Maybe total number of values, the mean, everything, the values will be different. Maybe sometimes they'll give you 4 values. They'll ask you to find 1. They'll ask you to find 3. The combinations also. So here, the total number of observations n equal to 5, mean equal to 4, and variance equal to 5.2. I have 3 values, 1, 2, and 6, and the remaining 2 I have to find out. When it comes to finding out the mean, we all know the formula, sigma is equal to 1 to n, xi by n. So here I'll be able to substitute for each value. That is 4 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 6. I don't know the remaining 2 values, so I have just assigned it as a and b. So this is 9 plus a plus b by 5 is equal to 4. 5 is total number of observation and 4 is the mean. So 9 plus a plus b equal to 20. From here, you'll get an equation that a plus b equal to 11. That's the very basic part. Now, another clue for you to solve this question that is given here is variance is equal to 5.2. The value of variance is clearly given in this question and it is equal to 5.2. Now, what is the equation of the variance that we have studied in our classes? It is sigma square is equal to, you can write this as summation of xi minus x bar the whole square by n, or even you can write this as summation of xi square by n minus x bar square. So you can find this separately and you can substitute. So here summation of xi square that we already know. It is a square, b square, we don't know. Then the other 3 terms of 1, 2, and 6. So 1 square plus 4 plus 36. So this becomes 36 plus 5, that is 41. So you got an equation, and here mean x bar, mean is something that is given in the question. The value is 4. So you're going to substitute it. Variance is 5.2, which is equal to a square plus b square plus 41 minus mean square is 4 square, that is 16 divided by 5. You can just solve the very basic part here and you'll get another equation in terms of a square plus b square. So here, I'm just taking this 5 here. So it becomes 5 into 5.2 plus 16 equal to a square plus b square plus 41. So this becomes 5.2 into 5, that is 26, and 16 into 5 is 80, equal to a square plus b square plus 41. So I got an equation as a square plus b square equal to 65. I have an equation that previously formed, that is a plus b equal to 1. I have both these terms. Either you can substitute for B, substitute for A, form a single equation and find the solution for both of them. So here in this question, what I have done is, I have just substituted for A as B minus 11. So B minus 11 whole square plus B square equal to 65. I got an equation and I have solved it, and there was 2 possibilities for B. B can be 7 and B can be 4. So I'll have answers in 2 ways, 2 combinations. So if B is equal to 7, as I already know A plus B equal to 11, A becomes 4. If B is equal to 4, as I already know A plus B equal to 11, A will be 11 minus 4, that is equal to 7. The combinations can be, the remaining 2 observations can be 7 as well as 4. Either A can be 7, B can be 4, or A will be 7 and B can be 4. Now you can solve this way also. This is very simple and you don't need much calculation, pen, paper, and all of that stuff. We know the formula, variance, sigma square is equal to, I would say summation xi minus x bar whole square by n. You have the values. X bar is 4. So A minus 4, B minus 4, 1 minus 4, 2 minus 4, 6 minus 4. And here it is already 5.2 square, that is 26. So it's easy for you to solve. It becomes 4 minus 1, that is minus 3. Here it becomes minus 2, and here also it becomes minus 2. So this is totally 17, there is 26, so you'll get the value as 9. So here a minus 4 whole square plus b minus 4 whole square equal to 9. In this case also, you'll get the values of a and b as 4 and 7. Whichever method you are comfortable with, whichever method you are following, if you want to do all the calculations step by step, that is also completely fine. You'll get the answer. Or if you want to just do some calculations in your mind and you have the capability to get an answer, that is also okay. Because you are preparing for competitive examination. When it comes to competitive examination, you should have that mental math and all of that stuff. So you should improve it. How you're doing the mental calculations, how you're going to look at a question, what all is given, which method to follow. There is a lot more to work on. So I'll just show this question once again. And if there are any students who are having queries, I would request them to type that in the chat box. Okay, there are students who are asking about the EEE syllabus. I'll give you a basic idea also. I think syllabus is not yet published. Maybe by next month, we'll be publishing the syllabus. And the first phase of exams will happen in February. So December, you'll get the syllabus. And mostly, it's very commonly associated with your 12th syllabus. I think Google asked that question. So you'll have questions from your 11th and 12th, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and also English. And one more thing that is very, very important is there is no separate weightage for, it's like from 12th only more questions will come, from 11th only more questions will come. That thing is not there. It's mostly an equal weightage for the 11th and the 12th portions for each subject, whether it's mathematics, chemistry, or physics, we have equal weightage. And I think the structure, the question paper pattern, everything is already given in the website. We'll have a total of 100 questions. And you have negative marks. It's +3 for every correct answer and -1 for every wrong answer. We have a majority of questions from mathematics, that is 40 from mathematics. Physics, it's 30 questions. Chemistry, it's 25. And English, it's just 5. So a total of 100 questions. You will surely get updates regarding the examination, the dates and everything. If you have just put a formal application form, you'll get all this information. Or even you can just refer to our website. Everything will be updated. No, it's not. Our curriculum is like mostly related to the CBSE. It's mostly matching with the CBSE, but still state board students also, it's an easy one only. And the syllabus is not that tough compared to that of JEE and all. Okay, regarding the application, I'll show you everything towards the end. So we'll continue with the next question. Is this question clear? Are there any students who want me to repeat it? I'll just show the answer. Total observations given as 5. Mean is also given. Variance is also given. Among that, in this particular type of pattern, it's like maybe they'll give you 3 observations. The remaining 2 you have to find. You already have a mean and variance. So it's just using the very basic formula, substituting the values and finding the answer. But one more thing when it comes to the chapter statistics is mostly the questions, some of the questions will have or the options will have point changes. Something like the option will be 36.8, 36.78, 36.5. Everything will start with 36 and there is a small point change that is there. So when are you coming across a question, I'm not saying this chapter, every chapter you have to be very careful with the calculations. Because most of the exams that you're planning to write will have negative marks. So yes, moving on to the next question. I hope either way you can solve it, whichever you're comfortable with, you can do that. Okay. This is also an important question where you have to find the mean, or I would say standard deviation or anything for a combined sample. So yes, let's read the question. A sample of 35 observations has mean 80 and standard deviation 4. A sample of 35 observations has mean 80 and standard deviation 4. There is one more sample which is of 65 observations. It is from the same population, which means the same category. Okay. They are having or they have the value of mean as 70 and standard deviation as 3. Now, the question is asking you to find out the standard deviation of the combined sample. The question is asking you to find out the standard deviation of the combined sample. This is a very important category of question that all of you should study. Here it's direct application of the formula. What's the combined sample? It's like, what's the formula for the mean when it comes to combined sample? What's the formula for the standard deviation? What's the formula for the variance when it comes to combined sample? If you have the formula, it's very easy, because in these type of questions, everything is given. You'll have the mean, you'll have the standard deviation, you'll have the number of observations, that for different cases from the same population. And there are question papers which have 3 cases, 4 cases also. There is a sample 1 with this many details. There is a sample 2 with this many details. There is a sample 3 with this many details. So yes, and see the options: 5.85, 5.58, 3.24, and none of them. Requesting the children to think of the formula and start solving this question. Because as a teacher, based on my experience, I'm saying this is a very important part when it comes to competitive examination. So those who have completed it, I would request them to type your answer in the chat box. Vishal, Jay Prashanjit, Hussein. If any one of you have got the answer, even Gokul, if you have the answer, requesting you to type that in the chat box, and then we'll start discussing it. Sorry. So yes. So I've just written water is given in this question. So I have 2 cases. In the case 1, number of observations, the value of n is 35, mean is given as, that is x bar is given as 80, and standard deviation sigma is given as 4. Similar way, there is a case 2 also, where number of observations is given as 65, mean x bar is given as 70, and standard deviation is given as 3. So you're having 2 cases, case 1 and case 2. Now, what you have to do is, you have to understand the formula for a combined sample before solving this question. So we'll initially look at the formula and then we'll start solving this question. Okay, just hold on for a moment. Okay. So initially, when it comes to the combined mean of 2 observations, that is when it comes to finding out x bar, the formula will be n1 x1 bar, n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar divided by n1 plus n2. So here, if you have already written the values, you know, n2 is 65, then x bar for the second case is 70, n1 for the, that is for the first case, n is 35, and for the first case, mean is 80, divided by n1 plus n2, that is 35 plus 65. You have an answer that is 73.50. Now, the question is asking you to find out the standard deviation of this combined form. So when it comes to finding the standard deviation of this combined form, you need to remember this formula. This is very, very important. The formula here is, it's the combined standard deviation, that is sigma, which is equal to root of n1 into sigma 1 plus d1 square. Okay, I'm sorry. I have missed a square here. Sigma 1 square plus d1 square and sigma 2 square plus d2 square. I've written that here, divided by n1 plus n2. You have to just look at the statement. Root of n1 into sigma 1 square plus d1 square plus n2 into sigma 2 square plus d2 square divided by n1 plus n2. But d1 is the difference between the mean x1 and the original one that we have found. The original mean or the combined mean that we have found is 73.5. So it is, the first one was 80. So it's 80 minus 73.5 and it's 70 minus 73.5. You got both the values d1 and d2. You have n1 already given in the question. You have sigma 1 already given in the question. D1 you found. D2 also you found. So you have all these values. It's just the basic substitution that you have to do in order to solve this question. Just understanding the formula, substituting all the details, just finding out D1 and D2. That's it. So N1 is number of observations for the first one. It is 35. Sigma, that is 4. It is 4 square, so it becomes 16. Then D1 we got 6.5. So 6.5 square plus N2 becomes, the number of observations is 65. Sigma 2 square is 3. So square becomes 9. D2 is minus 3.5. So minus 3.5 whole square divided by 35 plus 65. I have solved this whole thing and I got something like 34.20 and the root value becomes 5.84. In the same question, you could see something like 5.58 also as an option. I'll just show this question once again because for some students, at least for some students, this might be something new, but it's completely fine. You just have to refer to the formula. So this one, no, because the square I forgot to add. So this becomes the very first one where you're just going to multiply mean and the number of observations plus the second one in number of observations divided by total number of observations, that is 35 plus 60. So if you're having any queries, okay, I think Google has given an option. I'm so sorry. I think I forgot to check that. It was written as something called B. Is this question familiar to all of you? That's what I want to understand. Because this concept often comes in examinations. B means it might be something like 5.58. Or the previous question was also option C. So Google, please recheck what you have done. Maybe a small mistake calculation or something might have happened so that you got the other option as the answer. Is this question clear to everyone? Can we move forward? Is this question clear to everyone? Can we move forward? Can anybody give me a reply in the chat box whether this is clear or not? Can we move forward? This is a direct question. If the mean of the data 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 7 lambda and 8 is 8, the variance of this data is. The question shows the mean of a certain set of data. In this, the same question often comes in different question papers with different values. Even the values are same, but it's like maybe 3 sevens are there, 4 eights are there, and maybe 1 9. So that difference is there. But this question, a ditto type of question, comes in examination. So if the mean of the data 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 7, lambda 8 is 8, then the variance of this data is. Options are 7 by 8, 1, 9 by 8, and 2. I would request all the children to solve this question because it is a very straight, direct question. You just have to use the formula. There is only an unknown part lambda here. You have mean also and all the other terms also. And you know the formula to find the variance also. If you have the mean, if you find the unknown value, it's very easy. Find out the variance and give the option. Which one among this is the correct answer? Dear children, you can just consider this as a revision class where you have studied everything related to this concept, the theory, and everything in your classes. And maybe some of you are already preparing for the competitive examinations. This can be a platform where you can test your knowledge. What about the, I would say, intensity or the depth in which you have understood a concept? What about the application? Are you able to use the concept in the proper place that according to the question? So this you can consider as a revision class. Okay, so we'll start discussing this question. Very simple question, just look at it. We have the values here. Mean of these terms is given as 8. Mean of 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 7 lambda and 8 is 8. Mean is equal to the sum of those observations divided by the total number of observations. Here the total number is also 8. So this total becomes 7 plus 8, the whole thing divided by 8 equal to 8. So you'll get an equation something like lambda plus 54 equal to 64, and you got the value of lambda. Now what the question is asking you to find out is the variance. Variance we'll be able to find with the term sigma square. We know the formula, it is xi minus x bar the whole square by n. You have each and every term here and you already know the mean here. So xi means 7 minus 8, 8 minus 8, 9 minus 8, 7 minus 8, 8 minus 8, 7 minus 8, lambda minus 8, 8 minus 8. In the place of lambda, you can substitute 10 because we already found the value. So you'll be able to find the variance sigma square by substituting just the values in the formula that we have studied. Sigma square is equal to, I would say, summation xi minus x bar the whole square by n. N is the total number of terms. This is mean and this is the individual term. You have all the 8 terms. You've just subtracted it and you got something like 8 by 8. And the correct answer for this question is option B, that is 1. I hope all the students got an idea about this question. A very simple question. Is this clear to all of you? Now, requesting the children to type in the chat box, then only I'll be able to help you to some extent. Hussaini, Gokul, Shri Kavin, Vishal, if you have any further queries, requesting you to type that in the chat box. So yes, I think we'll move forward to the next question. This is a very simple question. Even this 50 becomes 100, 200 and all. The variance of first 50 even natural numbers. The question is asking you to find out variance of first 50 even natural numbers. Only thing, you know the variance, you have already have a series when it comes to first 50 natural numbers. You just need to think it's even. And the options are 833 by 4, 833, 437, 437 by 4. So just do this and give me an idea on which option you got as the answer. Because we know the formula for variance now. Xi minus x bar the whole square by n. We know the formula now. So please, dear children, complete this question and give me an idea on which option is the correct answer. Here also look at the option 833, 833 by 4, 437, 437 by 4. You need to be really careful when you are solving the questions. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to unmute. So yes, I think we'll just start discussing this question, a very simple question. Variance of first 50 even natural numbers. It's even natural numbers and I need to find their variance. So if I'm looking at the series, how it's going to form? It will be something like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 till 100 and I'll have 50 terms. So what's the formula of the variance that we know? Sigma xi square by n minus x bar the whole square, whichever you want, you can use it. So when it comes to using these values, it will be like 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus etc. up to 100 divided by 50, the total number of terms. Okay. So here, if you want to substitute something, if you want to simplify something, you have to use the series. So when it comes to even natural numbers, the series, whatever you have studied, it's very difficult for you to use the formula, substitute and solve it. So I would request the children to just take a 2 outside and you'll get the general series. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus etc. up to 50. Sum of first n terms, n into n plus 1 by 2. Here, I hope you know the formula to find the mean. Sum of the terms divided by the total number. So I have everything here. 2 is common. I've taken that outside. Then only I'll be able to substitute for the series. So 1 to etc. up to n terms, it is n into n plus 1 by 2. So it becomes 50 into 50 plus 1. That is 51 by 2. There is already a 2 by 50 here. So this 2 by 50, it's already here. N is here 50. N plus 1 is 51 divided by 2. So the 2 and 50, both these terms will get cancelled and you will get the mean here as 51. Now, mean is not something that the question has asked you to find out. The question is asking you to find out the variance. So in order to find variance, you need to have xi by n square. You have to find that and you have to subtract mean from it. So how you will do that? Sigma xi square by n. So here the terms will be like 2, 4, 6, 8 up to 10. So you have a series with square terms, 2 square, 4 square, 6 square, 8 square up to 100 square. Divided by total number of terms is always 50. So here also you can take, as 2 square is common, you can just take it outside. So 2 square plus 2 square. So here it will form the square series, sum of squares of natural numbers. N into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. That's what the formula is. Already 2 square and 50 is here when it comes to substitution. N into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. N is 50. N plus 1 is 51. 2n plus 1. 2 into 50 plus 1, that is 101 divided by 6. So here 50 and 6. You can just solve this and you'll get something like 3434. You already have 51 because the formula is like xi by n square minus x bar square. That's mean square. So 3434 minus 51 square. That is 3434 minus 2604. It is 833. And the option here for this question is option B. The correct option for this question is option B. I'll just show this question once again to all the children here. If you have any queries in between any part or any step, I would request you to type that in the chat box. So regarding the examination and all the other details towards the end of the session, I'll just maybe for the final 5 minutes or 2 minutes, I'll just give you a basic idea about all of that things. Is this question clear to all of you? Because I'm getting questions related to examinations in the chat box. So we'll discuss it towards the end of the session. Those who want to give me an ask anything related to the question that we are discussing, completely free to type that. And dear children, just one more quick thing. I hope you are able to follow everything. The speed and everything is completely fine. Kavin, can you please reply? Is everything clear? Is everything fine? Okay. Now, this is the next question that we are planning to solve today. If in a moderately asymmetrical distribution, mode and mean of the data are given as 6K and 12K, and they're asking you to find median. There is a special formula that you have studied when it comes to moderately asymmetrical distribution. That formula connects mean, median, and mode. Think of the formula, substitute the values, you'll get it. It is given that in a moderately asymmetrical distribution mode, the mean of the data is given as 6K and 12K. Then you have to find the median. There is a simple relationship in a formula between mean, median, and mode. You have to just use the formula and then you'll get the answer. Here mode is given as 6K and mean is given as 12K, and you have to find the median. Sorry. Think which formula, how I have to solve, and what is the value of the median. What is the value of the median, how it is going to be. So yes, I hope as children who are preparing for this competitive examination, you're having that formula book thing. So every day we are also revising certain chapters. We are already giving you information. This chapter is something that we'll be discussing today, and we are providing you the details related to that chapter, the questions related to that chapter. So I would request all the children to keep a formula book because it's just the day before the examination. You'll not be able to cover everything, all the method of integration and everything. You'll not get time to solve each and every question. So it's very important to keep such a book so that you can revisit the formulas chapter wise. Even those formulas which we are discussing today in between the questions also, I would request you to refer or write it in a separate book or an area so that you can in one go just revisit the formulas. So yes, the question is mode is given as 6K and mean is given as 12K. This is the relation that I want all of you to understand. Mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. Mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. This is the relation that I want all the children to understand. So here you can directly substitute. Mode is given as 6K, mean is given as 12K. And the question wants you to find out median. You can just compare it and you'll get the answer. 6K is equal to 3 median minus, it's already 2 into 12K because mean is 12K. That's 2 times means. 2 into 12K, it's 24K. We'll get something like 6K is equal to 3 median minus 24K. Now 3 median is equal to 24K plus 6K. That becomes 30K. Median is equal to 10K. And the option is option D. Option D is the correct answer for this question. I hope the question is clear. If there are any queries in between, requesting you to type that in the chat box so that I'll be able to help you in a better way. Given that it's a moderately asymmetrical distribution, they have given value of mode and mean, and they are asking you to find out median. You have the relationship, the formula that you have studied connecting all these three things, which is mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. You can substitute the values and you can find out the median. And here we got the answer as 10K, that is option D. So is the question clear to everyone? Do I need to repeat it or? Okay. So we'll move to the next question. I'll just show the question once and then we'll look at the option. Very simple question and I want everybody to give me the answer. The mean of a set of 30 observations is 75. You have n, it is 30 observations. The mean value also you have, that is 75. You can find the total here. There is something that these people are doing, that is each observation is multiplied by a non-zero number lambda. So if I'm having 30 observations, let's say 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 30, for each observation, I'm multiplying it with lambda. So it will be like something like x1 into 30, x2 into, x1 into lambda, x2 into lambda, x3 into lambda, etc. up to x30 into lambda. After that, what they're doing is each of them is decreased by 25. Which means the x1 is also from that you are subtracting 25. From x30 also you are subtracting 25. From x15, x17 also you are subtracting 25. But there is one thing that's clearly mentioned. Even if you are doing all these operations, the mean remains the same. Now, the question is asking you to find the value of lambda. The question is asking you to find the value of lambda. So it starts with the mean of a set of 30 observations is 75. So totally there are 30 observations. Their mean value is given as 75. The very regular question. I'll get the total number of observations and everything from this. But there are two conditions, which is among the 30 observations, each observation starting from x1, x2, x3, etc. up to x30, I am multiplying it with a value. They have clearly mentioned that it is a non-zero number. So there is some change that is going to happen here. Because in the question, it's clearly mentioned that they're going to multiply it with a non-zero number. So they multiply each observation with a non-zero number, that is lambda, and they are also performing a reduction, a subtraction of 25 from each one of them. Even if they are performing all these operations across all the 30 observations, the mean remains the same. And the question is asking you to find out the value of lambda. I hope you have noted down the important parts of the question and you have started doing. We'll just have a quick look at the options. The options are 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 4 by 3, and 10 by 3. The options are 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 4 by 3, and 10 by 3. If you have the answer, please type that in the chat box or else I'll start discussing it. Okay, I'll just show the question again. It's 10 by 3, 4 by 3, 2 by 3, and 1 by 3. And this is what the question is. Okay. So yes, we all know the very basic detail, right? Mean is equal to sum of observations by number of observations. I'm just assuming as there are 30 observations, I'm just writing it as x1, x2, etc. up to x30 divided by 30 and it is equal to 75. I'll get total of the sum of all the 30 because it's 75 into 30, which is 2250. Now, the next part the question does is multiplying a lambda with all of them and also subtracting a 25 from all the 30 observations. So it will be something like the total 30 into 25. So I'll be able to rewrite this as lambda into x1 plus lambda into x2 plus etc. lambda x30 minus 30 into 25. I can just add it here. So it becomes lambda into x1, x2, etc. up to x30 equal to 3000. This becomes 2250. So lambda becomes 3000 by 2250. It is 4 by 3. The value of it is 4 by 3. So just requesting the children to look at the question. If there is anything that you want to communicate with me, you can type that in the chat box. Anything related to the exams. And just wanted to know how many of you have taken the practice test examination last Sunday? How many of you have taken engineering entrance practice test, this test series, the mock test that's happening in our portal? How many of you have taken the test last Sunday? I'm waiting for your reply. So yes, I hope this question is clear. So I would, we'll stop it here and I'll discuss something else. So just wanted to know, are there any students who want me to repeat the questions? Anyone, you can just put the number in the chat box. From question number 1 to question number 7 that we have discussed now, anybody wants me to repeat any of these? Gokul, Vishal, Ashwati, Jay Prashanjit, Hussaini, Shri Kavin. I'm not able to read everybody's name, but still, if there is someone who wants me to repeat any of these questions that we have discussed so far today in this session related to statistics, just type the question number in the chat box or maybe any clue to the question. So this is the first question where it was a direct question. They have given me the set of values. They have given me the mean. But here in the first model of questions, some values that I've already taken, they mistook it as something else. And the question is asking me to find out the actual or the correct mean. That is for the first question. The second one is they have given me number of observations. They have given me mean, variance, everything. And they have given some observations also. Let's say in 5, they have given me 3. And they're asking me to find the remaining 2 observations. This also is like direct application in the formula that we have studied. Now coming to the third question, this is also a simple one where you have to study the formula of combined samples, the standard deviation of the combined sample. because they have given a sample with this many observations. Their mean is this, their standard deviation is this. Same thing, they have given a separate sample. They have given the number of observations, they have given the mean, they have given the standard deviation. If you know the formula for the combined sample, the mean and the standard deviation, you can directly substitute it and you can get the answer. So please note down all these formulas in the notebooks that you are studying. Now, next is very, very direct question. They have given a data. There are certain unknowns in the data. They have given me the mean also. And I need to find the unknown also. And I need to find the variance also of the data that is given in the question. Now, when it comes to series type of questions, variance of first 50 even natural numbers, the variance of first 50 odd natural numbers, even the mean of first 50 odd natural numbers, this type of questions comes. The next question that we have discussed is of the asymmetrical distribution. It's like they have given me a value of mode and mean, and they're asking me to find out the median. So I have a formula collecting all of them. I have just substituted it and I got the answer. Also of a same type of question. Next one is also of a same type of question where these many observations are there and they have multiplied each observation with some value. Sometimes they will subtract each observation with some value. Sometimes they'll add a value to each and every observation. And the only condition that happens towards the end is even if they have made all these changes, the mean remains the same. So you can formulate two equations there and you can solve the equations and you'll get the answer. So yes, we are going to stop here. So those students, I'll just take your questions and then I'll try to give you an idea about all of them. Hold on for a moment. Okay, I'm just planning to share the screen. So this is the BTech page of Amrita. I hope you have visited this page. It is aeee.amrita.edu. You can just visit this page. If you have any queries or any doubts, you can mail to this mail ID or even call this number. Those who are planning to join Amrita through non-scholarship admissions, this is an option. And even here you can register. You can give your name, mobile number, email ID and everything and you can register and you will be already moved to the portal. Now, there is an information handbook also that we have released, AEEE Phase 1 tentative dates also, and everything related to this process is completely here in this page only. And if you have any queries related to the campuses or anything in detail, every Friday we are conducting a counselors meet. From morning to evening, our counselors will be live. You can meet them directly and clear all your queries. So in this page, even the campus details, the course details, the previous placement statistics, everything is given. So yes, somebody was asking about this page. So that is one thing. And the second one, I know you are already attending our STEM search session. So there is one more portal that I want all of you to understand, which is about the practice test portal, where for the engineering aspirants as well as for the medical aspirants, somebody who is planning for nursing, somebody who is planning for, I would say, studying allied health science courses, writing NEET, certain colleges have their own examination. So in the same portal, that is amrita.edu/practice test, you can log in. There are biology type of practice tests that's happening, live practice test happening on every Saturday evening 4 to 5. And these mathematics, that's the engineering type of practice test, happens on every Sunday 4 to 5:30. So I would request the children to take this test. And even in this portal, you'll get previous 25 years of question papers. So those students who are new to this portal, this is just for your information. You can just log in here, register here, and then you can just be in the portal where there are scheduled tests also moving. You will get your performance analysis reports, even some video lectures, lot of question papers, everything is available in this portal. So please make use of this opportunity and even you can share this as a resource among the students, among your students, your friends who are planning to write the competitive examinations. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope today's session was useful and you got an idea about certain questions from the statistics. There are more types and model of questions from the same chapter. So we'll be discussing it in the coming days. So if you have any further queries, any suggestions or anything that you want to share with me, you can type that in the chat box. So thank you so much, everyone. We can meet on next Tuesday, and you'll receive a mail regarding which chapter, which topic we'll be discussing on next Tuesday. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all.